This is the 2026 GMC Hummer SUV. Should GMC offer a gas-burning version of this Hummer? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to go over the details and talk about what the differences might be if this was a gas-burning version with a V8 under the hood, and the differences that you'll find between that and this EV version. We'll give you all the numbers and all the details as we go through in case you maybe want to buy the EV version, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are as to what this would look like and how interested you would be if a gas-burning engine was available under the hood. We borrowed this model from our friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC. Check out the link in the description of the video if you want to know more. On the front end, you're going to find your full LED lighting. Now, you do have the projector beam style headlights that are going to be right down here, and then all of your lighting elements across the front end in this area where the front trunk is located. LED for your daytime running lights. I don't have the turn signal indicators turned on, but all of that's going to be LED. And I'll tell you what, some of the strongest recovery hooks I've seen, these are actually a little bit easier to move than some of the others out there, but they are really, really strong and very difficult to move in some cases. This one's a little bit harder. One of those interesting things. Your GMC logo will be right there. We're going to have our front view camera right here. I know it's really dirty, but it's just pollen season here in Northwest Louisiana. That's not the only camera angle you're going to have. They're all around this Hummer. Now, we're going to work our way around here. When it comes to your wheel size, these are going to be 22-inch wheels with a nice gloss black finish on them. Going to have the Hummer EV logo right here. Obviously, that would be different if we went with something that had a gas-burning engine under the hood. Still with the air ride suspension, all-wheel drive, all of those things need to stay, regardless of what kind of powertrain we have. Now, one thing that I do wish that would be added here would be the turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors. For the price point of this Hummer, that should be there. They are heated, they are power adjustable, and they're going to have the blind spot monitoring built in right there into the glass. And then when it comes to our door handles, I like that we have passive entry, not only here on the front door handles, also on the rear. That's going to allow you to lock and unlock all four doors from either door on either side. And nice large windows, easy to see out of. But you're going to have a lot of benefits beyond that that make it easy to see what's going on around you. Now, it is sitting pretty high off the ground. At this height, it's got the assist steps right here. Going to have the graphite material, just like grip tape on a skateboard, that makes it very easy to not have any issues slipping on that. That's a good thing. Work our way up. You do see that you have the two-tone look here with the exterior color, the white, and the black roof up here. Just gives it a nice look. We'll come back here to the rear and finish things off with our LED tail lights. All the lighting elements here on this Hummer are going to be LED, no big surprise. We'll hit the button right there just to let you see what goes on where that's concerned. And something you don't see with most EVs on the road, a spare tire. Nice to have that. Going to be a full-size spare. That's a good thing. We'll also have the power rear door right here. In fact, before we get to that, let me show you what we have here. Lock, unlock. You'll have a remote start. You can open and close the power tailgate here. You can also open and close the front trunk. Now, we're going to hit the button right here and open this up just to show you what's going on here. There is a ton of space back here. Definitely a lot of room depending on what you need to do. I have gone ahead and lowered the seat backs down so you can take a look at how that looks in case you wanted to know. Now, how about our cargo capacity? I know I don't normally do that at this point in the video, but we're looking at 35.9 up to 81.8 cubic feet, depending on how you set things up. As far as your towing capacity goes, about 10,000 pounds, say about 10,500 pounds, not too bad. The question is, how far can you tow before you have to charge up again? Now, as far as usability back here, you're going to have a power outlet right here. That's going to be nice and helpful. We'll also have a little bit of storage in this area right here. So quite a bit of space back here, depending on what you need to do. A lot of versatility. Now, you do have everything here to change a tire. I like that it has a nice large jack. Obviously, this is a very large, heavy vehicle. And to maximize our cargo space, keep in mind, I'm a little surprised at this. You can only lower the seats. You'll have to manually raise them back up. Those buttons are not going to actually take care of that for you. That's why you've only got that down arrow right there. And here with the floor, we're going to have that lunar map design, and underneath this area, we're going to find actually a little bit more storage space. Here are the rest of the tools that you need to change a tire if you ever need to do that. Now, one thing about that spare tire is you better make sure that you have some muscle, because I guarantee you that tire is not light. Let's talk about horsepower, torque, and all of those numbers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to tell me that I get the torque numbers wrong. Do your research before you leave that comment. 570 horsepower, which would be very realistic if we had a gas-burning V8 under the hood. 7,400 pounds-feet of torque. Not even going to be close to that if you have a gas-burning engine under the hood. Again, look information up before you decide that that's a wrong number. It's not 740, it is 7,400 pounds-feet. And you will find a direct drive transmission. Now, here's where you're going to do your charging. You can use a supercharger if you need to, DC fast charger. 0 to 60 on this model is about 4 seconds flat, top speed about 100 miles per hour. How about your charging on a level 1 charger? You're looking at a full charge, depending on how far down you are, in 2 to 3 days. I don't think anybody's going to do that. A level 2 home charger, you're looking at about 14 hours to be at a full charge. And again, that will vary depending on how low of a charge capacity you have. With your DC fast charger, you're looking at 100 miles of driving distance in about 12 to 14 minutes. So depending on your situation, you might want to choose accordingly. And one last thing that I know you want to know about: how far can you drive on a full charge? 315 miles. And a little additional cargo space here. We would obviously lose this, but I think a lot of you would be very happy to lose about 11 cubic feet of cargo space to have a gas-burning V8 here under the hood. Let's definitely not go V6. V8 for sure, but quite a bit of space up here, plenty of area for luggage and whatever you need. But like I said, I think a lot of you would say, you know what, Tom, I can forego that if GMC would give us a gas engine with this Hummer. And if you want space, there's no shortage of it anywhere in the interior, whether it's cargo, the second row, the first row, whatever the case is. We're gonna have the sky panels up here. Now, those are all removable, all 4 of them. So if you want to take those out, you can, and drive around without those in. They do have very nice dark tint on them because there's no other way to block the sun out when those are in place. No shades, anything like that. How about the door panel? I like the design of our interior right here. It's very nice, very high-end looking. The armrest is large. It has a little bit of padding built into it. That's nice. We're going to have the bottle holder right up there in the top of the door bin area, and then the regular door bin space down below. And one thing that's going to be very helpful here is when it comes to getting inside, I like that we have the grab handle right there where I can just hop in just that easily. No big deal where that's concerned. Plenty of room. We're going to have the rear seat pockets right here, and then we're going to have our 3rd zone of climate control. That's on low. We don't really need that right now, but you can adjust temperature, fan speed right here. You can make some other adjustments depending on what you need to do. A couple of USB ports and air conditioning vents. I do think that there should be larger air conditioning vents and maybe have some in the door pillars. There's a little bit of space down here, actually a reasonable amount of space for a cell phone or whatever else will fit. That's going to be nice. Again, we're going to have that lunar map design here with the floor mats, and we're going to have our connectivity right there. You're going to have another power outlet, and then we're going to have the USB ports above that. How about the fold-down armrest? One thing I wish more automakers would do, there are some out there that do this, is instead of having the parallel design of the cup holders, have them vertical like this, and then you've got all that space still available no matter what when there's a bottle or a cup in each one. The sticker price on this model, $99,095. Now, whether or not, if it was not an EV, the price would be lower is impossible to say. Most likely it would be. How much? I couldn't tell you. Let's see what else you get for the price. And we'll start up here with our digital rear view mirror. So if you don't want that to be a digital rear view mirror, you just flip the lever forward like that and you're good to go. You can adjust it with your settings right here. You can change what you're adjusting here. You can adjust whether you zoom in or zoom out, and then we can change the angle just like this. The other one was changing the brightness right there, just to show you how all of that works. Not a whole lot to talk about with our upper console. You can see some of our controls here. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as that goes. We'll have OnStar and all that good stuff is going to be here. You can see what all is there as far as that goes. And right here, we're going to have our control for our lights if you want to turn those on, or you can just leave it like that and then you can come and manually turn them on and off as you need to. You will have HomeLink located right here, built into the sun visor, so you have your 3 different options for that. And as we work our way down, we're going to go over there on the passenger side and see the glove box. We'll open that up and let you see what's there. Typical glove box size, not a lot going on, but one thing that I do like here is that down here in this area, you're going to have the pass-through, quite a bit of space where that is concerned. Once again, you'll have that lunar map design down there, a lot of extra room. I like how GMC did that. On the passenger side door panel, again, we're going to have that large armrest and the large door bin. Looks nice, it's functional, it works well. And now we'll work our way over here to the driver's side and show you a few of the details that are going on. Now, one thing I didn't talk about earlier is the fact that you do have the power folding side view mirrors as well. You can hit the button right here to do that, or you can actually go in and program in the the center screen so that will happen when you lock and unlock the vehicle. Everything you control your side view mirrors here. You can lock and unlock the windows. Seat memory at this price point, GMC, that should be on the passenger side, not just on the driver's side. And we'll have our 1 touch down, 1 touch up windows for the front windows, but you have to hold that button like that for the rear windows. And you'll see some of your safety features here, different options where that is concerned. You can turn it on and off. You can open and close the front trunk right there. Power parking brake is here, and then we've got our control right here for the power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically adjustable. Everything for your adaptive cruise control and super cruise will be here. There's your indicator for super cruise, semi-autonomous driving, and then everything for voice commands, and then quite a few different things we can do here as far as the screen goes, depending on what you want to do. You can adjust what you're listening to. You can do a few different things here as far as whether you're listening to Sirius XM or whatever the situation is. It just depends on your personal preference. The Hummer logo, Hummer EV logo here with the horn button and a very comfortable steering wheel. We also have a heated steering wheel, which is going to be located the button right down there. We'll get down to more of this in just a little bit. Let's talk about the center screen. Now, you might have said there's a lot of things missing from the driver's display. Guess what? You can come in here and actually change that depending on what you want to have on the screen. So you can actually add that to the driver's display right there. There's not a lot to add because obviously we don't have engine temperature and things like that. But here you can do the same thing. As you can see right there, we can add to driver's display, and all you're going to do is just select right there. If you want to take it off, you select remove, and then you can see what all can be done right there. You can see all of your different details that are here just to give you an idea of what's going on. You also have your tire pressure right there if you want to see that, and you can add that to the driver's display too. My GMC, you've got Google Assistant, the Play Store, all of that's here. Charging, if you need to have some details where that is concerned, you can charge now, you can charge later, you can know when it's going to be complete because we do have a good bit right now as far as that goes. We'll come back out of that and take a look at our camera views. Overall, a very nice look, very modern, nice clear images. I like that. We can change from front to rear if we want to do that. We can go to side right here, and then we can also go right there depending on where you need to look. Quite a bit going on here. You can go to your guidelines and turn those on and off. Just depends on what it is your personal preferences are. Trailering right here. It's not going to be anything different than other GMC vehicles out there, just to show you what's there. You can go in here into settings. Now there's quite a bit going on here that we're going to look at. I like to spend some time on this area because people ask about it quite often. Depending on what you need to do, you can come right here and find it. We're going to go into vehicle right here. Now your audio settings, I know that's a big deal for a lot of people, so here's where you're going to use that or change that depending on if you want to work with the equalizer or your sound modes or whatever you want to do, normal, driver, rear. There's actually a few different options where that is concerned. Drive mode customization is here. Now you can come in to steering, suspension, acceleration feel. Motor sound is also going to be here. We can go right there. We'll switch that over, and then my mode is here too. Teen driver, I can't imagine letting your teenager drive this Hummer no matter what powertrain it has, but you can do that if you want to. Super Cruise lane changes there, turn signal activated view. If you're wondering what that is, you have to go into drive for that to work. And then when I turn on the blinker, we get either the right side blind spot or the left side blind spot. Just one of those good reasons to use your blinkers when you're out driving on the road. And everything else is going to be here that I know a lot of you are used to seeing. How about your safety features? You've got your alert type, forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, reverse automatic braking, park assist, rear cross traffic braking, and rear pedestrian alert. Now, if you're wondering what the differences are when you have that little indicator right there, you can turn it on and off right there. You can also come in here and do the same thing. There's always a description of what you have as far as how that feature works. But you'll notice right here, it's a little different. You have 3 options here with our rear cross traffic braking. You can go with alert and brake alert only, or you can turn it off. It just depends on what you want to do. We also have our off-road feature right here. Let's see if we can get that to come up for us. It's going to give us different details as far as pitch and roll and things like that, tire pressure, all of that is going to be here depending on what you need to do. It also lets you know which direction the front wheels are pointing if you need to know about that. And it actually does a pretty good job with that. Also a compass over there if you need to take advantage of that. We'll come right here and look at a couple of the other features you're going to have here as well. There's auxiliary mode if you need to take advantage of that, and your camera views. We'll come back out of that and just show you what's here. One other page here as far as the different details go. Audio, Google Maps, you've got your phone. Controls. Now there's a few things you might be looking for that are going to be found here in the screen. I'd rather have physical controls for this, but you can see what all is here. See more controls, only one more feature, drive and park. That's going to be your park assist where that is concerned. Now, as far as your climate goes, let's just show you what's going on here. You can adjust the front or the rear, obviously the rear seat being highlighted right there in white. We can do that here depending on what we need to do with the front and rear settings. You can also come here and set a few things up to work automatically. Cooled and ventilated seats will automatically come on, heated seats on startup. That makes things a lot easier. That way, if you want to let the vehicle run for a little while before you get in on a really cold day, well, you can do that. And we'll work our way down here. Here's our controls for the air conditioning. There are physical controls here as far as the temperature, the fan speed. I've never seen another vehicle that has the fan that actually moves on the screen like that. That's very interesting. Now here's what you're going to do as far as your cooled and heated seats go. We're going to select right here. We're going to push down on that. You can turn your heated seats on like this using the button. Same thing with your ventilated seats, just so you can see what's going on where that is concerned. You've got your front and rear window defoggers. All that good stuff is going to be here, just so you know. Now you saw the heated steering wheel button earlier. We're going to have traction control right here. Everything for your hazard lights, and then you're going to have your park assist. All that's going to be right here. Some of our air conditioning vents located underneath that, and if we want to, we can conceal this area away right here, but I know you want to see that. Number one, you have the wireless charging pad and a couple of USB ports. Here is our shifter. Nothing new as far as that goes, but you can come down here, go into drive, you can go into neutral, or you can go into reverse, and there is how you go into park. Now, we're going to show you one thing here first. There's your cup holders. You can conceal those away, and I'm going to use the control right here to change driving mode. We're going to go up to the screen and let you see these great graphics. That's one thing about these EVs that makes me say, you know what? I think GMC should make a gas burner, because the EV version looks fantastic, but we need more than just an EV as far as the Hummer goes. Tow haul mode is right there as well if you want to take advantage of that. Quite a few features going on. Now, if you want to take advantage of the all-wheel steering, here's how you're going to go into that. That's how you know that it's working. Crab walk mode is what that is. And all I did to turn that on was come right down here, and I just held this area down, and that is what allows that to come up and take advantage of that. You can take advantage of that when you're ready to. Just one of those nice little things. A little bit of storage space right here. You could put a phone right there, whatever you want to. The center console lid doubles as an armrest, and I'm going to open that up real fast here. Now, this is not all the space we have because that tray is removable. And you're going to find something that you won't find in any of the GMC trucks right now as far as the modern day versions. 12-volt power outlet, quite a bit of space within there, and you can put that tray in there or leave it out depending on your personal desires. And how about a sampling of the Bose premium audio system? Here you go. Try not to go too far on that, but I can tell you without doing any kind of tuning so it sounds the way I personally like for it to sound, and I know a lot of you are the same way, it sounds phenomenal here in person. I hope my microphone did a good job of picking that up for you to hear. Okay, here we go on the test drive, and even though this isn't the most powerful version of the Hummer that you can get, it will still set you back in the seat pretty good when you drop the power pedal. Even get that sound depending on how you set things up, as I showed you earlier in the video. One thing that is maybe a bit of a surprise to some people is that you have an exceptional ride quality for such a large vehicle that is very capable off-road. It rides really well on the air ride suspension. The seats themselves are nice and comfortable, plenty of room, a lot of adjustability built in between the driver's seat and the steering wheel. And with all those different driving modes, you can choose whatever you need for each situation. The technology here, believe it or not, is very easy to learn and use. So you don't have to go through a steep learning curve with that. I try to show enough of that when we show the infotainment screen and other details here to make that pretty obvious to everybody. And yes, I am using my blinkers. I always do. You can see that the turn signal activated view has come up. And one thing about this Hummer, I'm about to show you real fast here as soon as this Jeep passes us, that you have a phenomenal turning radius. So here we go. We're gonna make that. There are some little cars I've driven that can't make that tight of a turn as I just did right there. And obviously that is going to be beneficial, even though this is a very large and wide vehicle. Overall, it is a lot of fun to drive, but as we're trying to make our point to GMC here, maybe one day we'll have a gas engine available. I do think that would sell a lot more of these. They would be more popular that way. It would likely decrease the cost as well because you wouldn't have to have near the technology here. I'm not completely sure about that, but I do feel that would likely be the case. Maybe into the 80s. I don't know if you can get into the $70,000 range, which I know either number is still fairly expensive. One thing about driving something this big is you don't get the sensation of speed that you normally do with some vehicles, so I'm having to slow down just a little bit, driving a little over the speed limit there. But overall, whether you go EV with the Hummer or whether you don't, it is a phenomenal vehicle. It offers a lot of great technology and features. It's a lot of fun to drive. Definitely has that strong novelty factor, but I am always curious to know what you think should be here that maybe isn't. And there it is, the 2026 GMC Hummer EV SUV 2X. Should GMC make a gas-burning version of this Hummer? I think they should. It looks fantastic. They would sell a lot more if that was at least an available option, or if they just fully went to gas burners with this model. Tell GMC down in the comments section what you think. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning us this Hummer for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. We appreciate that. It's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.